Alrighty, guys, welcome back to the Game Time Gazette. This is your host, Isaiah Aneni. I'm glad to join you guys back. Feels like forever since we've talked last. We had the whole last week. I was kind of sick. And then this week, to start off the week, the whole world is experiencing the eclipse and all of that going on. So, I just said, all right, let me push it off to Tuesday. A lot of news to dive into, but I'll push it off to Tuesday. Just makes sense. Hopefully everyone that's watching this or listening to this on a podcast enjoyed the eclipse last night. Or yesterday afternoon. It was, a once in a lifetime thing, right? So hopefully we all partook or whatever you call it. But on the sports side of it all, there's a lot that's happened since we've last chatted here on the Game Time Gazette. It's been a little while, and I want to catch you guys up. Same thing, I want to catch me up. The new segment we got now, it's called The Fastest 180, where I just essentially run down through all the news that I won't be breaking down, analyzing and all of that, spending extra time on. I'll just run down through them in these fastest 180. For me, this is a great way to get, the other sports out there. And obviously on a day where I haven't been able to, be with you guys consistently every day. Another thing as well, talking on the schedule, I wanted to kind of tweak things a little bit. I know we've been going hard every day, and I love you guys, and I know you guys love me. But I think we're going to change up the schedule as it's reaching summertime, as the sports are dying down a little bit. I think we're going to go Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. That was supposed to be my original schedule, but I just started and I just couldn't get stopped, right? So this is the new schedule that we're going to be implementing. Obviously this week is not going to be a Monday, it's going to be a Tuesday drop, and then it's going to kind of be messed up Tuesday, Wednesday, and then Friday. I don't know, because the Wednesday's tomorrow, so today's going to be a weird week. Maybe we do the normal week this week, and then we go to the new schedule next week. I don't know how it's going to go. We'll see. Just bear with me. I'm glad that, I'm just trying out some new things. I'm trying to make this a more exciting pod, not something that's very stagnant. But with that being said, this week's a very weird week as I started on Tuesday. I'll tweet it out on my Twitter, or honestly, I'll let you guys know. On social medias, honestly, on Twitter. So go follow my Twitter at the GTG Podcast HQ, and then I'll update you guys there on what we're gonna do with the schedule things. Or maybe check in tomorrow and see if we're here or not. Alrighty. Without further ado, though, I do want to get to the fastest 180 seconds. This is a great one because these last few days I missed out, so don't get to be in the fastest 180 seconds as much, but we good. Okay, alrighty. So without further ado, let's start the clock. Oh, I gotta start it here too, so I'm physically aware. Yeah, that's my fault. Alrighty, now. Alrighty, we're gonna start with F1. The F1 paddock was in the Japanese area this last weekend in the Japanese Grand Prix. Max Verstappen finished first, Sergio Perez finished second, Carlos Sainz finished third. It was a great race for Red Bull, obviously getting a great result. There was some problems throughout the race, throughout the weekend with Max's car, but hey, there's a meme going out there that Mercedes is saying, oh my gosh, we did our best on that lap. That was our best absolute flying lap, and we're 5/10 down. And then Ferrari saying the same thing, and then the Red Bull is could have done much better, but doesn't matter anyways. And that's how it's been for the last few years, and that's how it was there in Japan in Suzuka. Again, Max Verstappen picking up another win. Let's see if this season gets any more interesting as we get more improvements, developments to the other rivals' cars. It's going to be interesting to see. Okay, in the NHL, there is a few teams that can clinch a NHL playoff spot tonight. Let's start with the New York Rangers clinching the Metropolitan Division if they defeat the Islanders in any fashion, and then the Carolina Hurricanes lose to the Boston Bruins in regulation. The Rangers clinch the Metropolitan Division. The Bruins clinch the Atlantic Division if they defeat the Hurricanes in any fashion, and any of the both of the following occur. The Maple Leafs both have to lose to the New Jersey Devils, and the Florida Panthers have to lose to the Ottawa Senators in regulation. The Maple Leafs can lose to them in any fashion. All right, in the West, Nashville Predators will clinch a playoff berth if they get at least 1 point against Winnipeg. They're going to be playing for their lives tonight. The Preds, the Los Angeles Kings, they'll clinch as well if they could beat the Ducks in any fashion. The Stars, they'll clinch if they could defeat the Buffalo Sabres in any fashion. So a lot of teams that are trying to clinch playoff spots tonight, those are the teams to bet on. All right, let's go to quickly. In these last 1 minute and 18 seconds that we got here, or 48 seconds, let's talk about WrestleMania 40. Night 1 was a banger. Night 2 was a banger. And everybody's been talking about it too. I mean, The Rock, Roman Reigns, Cody Rhodes, Seth Rollins, John Cena came out. Undertaker was out there as well. It's been crazy. It's been crazy that wrestling has finally gotten back some love, gotten back a little bit of, coolness, as The Rock would say. And, I've been watching for a few years because of Roman Reigns, but the coolness that he's brought back to the entertainment has been something to see. Everybody's talking about WrestleMania. That's why I had to add it in here. I didn't think I should, but I mean, everybody's talking about it, and that is so exciting. And with that, it has been your fastest 180 seconds. Boom. Right on the button, bro. I love that. Right on the button. I got everything right on the button. That was great. That was fun. Yeah, but last point on the WrestleMania thing. I mean, as fans, I've seen so much, just discourse on Twitter. And it's just a great time to be alive. I feel like a lot of people were talking about the solar eclipse is gonna, destroy the world, this and that, all those marks saying that. But I feel like it reset something, man. We're back in a time where wrestling is cool again. We're back in a time where, I don't know, the sun's it feels good. It feels like a great time to be alive. And to that point, congratulations, Cody Rhodes, as well, even though I am a bloodline member. Yeah, Roman Reigns is my guy. Okay, let's get into the topics for today, though. Love that segment. I'll be adding more segments like that, to spice up this podcast as soon as we reach the summer too. Just adding a lot more fun stuff that people will actually just come, all right, this is cool to watch. But no worries, let's stay here. Alrighty, so we got, I forgot 1 point, but we got we got the college women's and men's March Madness final happened this past weekend. For the women's, it happened on Sunday, and for the men's, it happened on Monday. It's a good thing that I kind of waited because the men's game kind of finished at the end, and then I was able to just see what has happened, what has transpired between both teams. I watched both games, so I, able to come in here, give my analysis. If you follow me on Twitter, I was sending out a few tweets on Sunday, and then I sent out a 1-2 tweets on Monday. But just with that, it was a fun March Madness. On the women's side, they say it was the best ever. Watched more than the men's. Honestly, you want to give it the love and flowers, give it the love and flowers. It was a great women's March Madness. The men's, it was domination on one side. There was a few upsets. It was exciting moments, but we know that we've gotten more exciting tournaments, so it's not even a thing where you have to even it's not an argument. It's not a fight. The women's March Madness this year was just exhilarating. And men's March Madness is exhilarating every year, but UConn won. UConn steamrolled everybody. It was okay. It was fun. It was fun to see Yale upset in that first round. It was fun to see Oakland upset Kentucky. There were some fun upsets in there. NC State, their run was amazing, fun to watch. But the women's game, we got LSU and their whole drama going on over there. We got Caitlin Clark in Iowa. We got South Carolina trying to do the undefeated season, which they did. We'll get to it in a second. And, we got Paige Bucher's UConn playing with, 9 rotation players out, something like that. And just balling. Juju Watkins, freshman at USC, averaging 27.7 points per game in the March Madness, just balling. It was a fun March Madness to watch for the women, man. And I feel like the game took a step. It definitely took a step. And even though, because I don't want to sound like a hater saying this, man, like the game is different. The game is different. For you guys that really think, the women's game is different, it feels like I was telling this to my friend the other day, it feels like it's stuck back in time. Like we look at Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese, that feud, that rivalry, it feels like Magic versus Bird back in the late 60s, early 70s. Magic versus Bird when they were Indiana State, Michigan State. Both of them were going up against each other, March Madness in the finals. And, they brought that hype to the NBA. That rivalry fueled the NBA. It grew the NBA a little bit there, It grew the NBA a lot. It inspired generations after generations. We still talk about that rivalry to this day because it led to Lakers versus Celtics. And then the Lakers versus Celtics rivalry, that was the best time for the Lakers versus Celtics rivalry, where it wasn't just one team dominating the other, but both teams really going at it and grew the game. And I feel like that is what the women's game is at right now, where you got Angel Reese, you got Caitlin Clark, and I know it's stereotypical, but it really is just contrasting. I mean, it's like a mirror. It's like a mirror, instead of it being a man, it's a woman. They're gonna get Caitlin Clark Caitlin Clark, Angel Reese, this whole 2020 class, they get to the WNBA, they're going to just turn it up. People aren't forgetting about Cameron Brink and the one that just won last night as well, Cardoso. So many great talents to grow the game. I'm not saying these are the superstars, but the game, the brand of basketball itself will be infinitely better because of these girls coming up. And I feel like that's the 60s and early 70s part of it all, where their growth is coming, their evolution is going to come, and it's exciting. I understand for those that say, yeah, it's a different game. That's what, it's a different game. The officiating kind of stinks, man. It looks like, it doesn't seem like a contact sport as much as it's supposed to be seen as a contact sport. Basketball is a contact sport. People are going to touch each other out there. It's going to be a little, not overly aggressive. Obviously, that's where you call a foul. But it's a contact sport. Bodies are going to get on bodies, like boxing out, just playing defense. But the way they want the girls to be playing defense, the way they just everything, it seems like they want it to be just a lot less contact. I don't know if it's like, a lot of you guys, that's enjoyable or this and that, but like I don't like a game where they're calling ticky-tack foul calls on a defender having just guiding the offensive player with the actual forearm guide that you're able to, or even if they're trying to get through the corner, boom, trying to fight over the screen, and then you get called for a ticky-tack trying to fight over the screen. I mean, it's Caitlin Clark right there, bro. A lot of the calls early too were kind of deterring for I want it to be, bro, no offense, but the men they earned the right to play no defense. You know what I'm saying? Like, they kind of did. Like, even though, bro, we all complain too. We all complain about them not playing defense on this side. You know what I'm saying? Like, even though with the complaints, we get such phenomenal offensive games that it's like, all right. It's cool. Like, we understand why you're taking a break on defense. We understand why, the league and the NBA would want to open up more and have more offensive game. But for the women though, it's like, you just taking it. I mean, like, you gotta, you got to incorporate defense into the games over there for the women game. Like, the defense got to be a lot more straight. Like, you got to, going back to the point where we're talking about WNBA being where the NBA was in the late 60s, early 70s. You got to just, the full game got to be out here. You got to be able to, because these are for the younger girls as well, learning up the game, this and that, to their skills and all of that. I mean, it's just going to be interesting to see. Diana Taurasi said it best. The women's game, because Caitlin Clark's not the first famous woman to be playing women's basketball, and then boom, like everyone's like, oh yeah, I'm gonna watch women's basketball, WNBA, and then they don't, and they don't. They watch it in the college. They're watching the college game because it's fun, and America loves college sports as well. That's something that Diana Taurasi said, because they're younger women. I don't think America loves college sports. They'll root for their team, their school, this and that. Caitlin Clark drew them in a little bit more, where it's like, okay, they're not just rooting for their school. They really want to just see what's going to happen with the women's basketball, this and that. Cool. But at the end of the day, you got to protect the brand of itself as well, and have a free-flowing game out there. No ticky-tacky fouls. The game's growing. No ticky-tacky fouls. You know what I'm saying? What else? Like, it's just gotta a few things where it's like, obviously with time it'll grow, but like the officiating is one thing where I feel like it could be changed immediately. These aren't men, and I feel like they're trying to play it a different way, where it's like, I don't know, just call the game. It's basketball, man. We all love basketball. We don't all love seeing 10 foul calls in the first half, and they're all ticky-tacky. They're not even a real foul call. The UConn-Iowa game ended off, they called it a moving screen. Whoa, man. Like, that's not how you end a basketball game. Even if she was moving slightly, that's not how you end a basketball game, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's just different things that you do. Like, that's something that's understood in men's basketball. But women's basketball, I don't know. But congratulations to South Carolina women. I feel like I rambled, and I really just wanted to get that point out, because it was like, I enjoy watching the women play. It's just I want it to be less ticky-tacky. Remove all the ticky-tacky out. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. Maybe I'm just being a mark and I'm finding something to complain about, but I don't know. There was a lot of calls, not a few. There was a lot of calls that I didn't like this weekend. I could have a whole compilation of bad calls, just bad calls. But yeah, I guess you could do that for every sport, every game. So it's whatever. Alrighty. So South Carolina, they won by 12. Just run down through the leading scores. So Caitlin Clark got 30. And Kate Martin balled out March Madness, got 16. On the South Carolina side, it was kind of a team effort. It was a super team effort. You had Tessa Johnson with 19, Camila Cardoso, as we've been talking about, 15. She's going on to the WNBA. Tahina Papau, she had 14, had a few threes in there. Chloe Kitts, 11. It was just a team effort, and they ended up undefeated. What else could you say about the SC women's basketball team? They counted out Dawn Staley, and she's only lost 3 games in the last 4 years, something like that. She's like Nick Saban, bro. She's like Nick Saban. Like, she's up there, and that's what I said. Remember? All right, the men's, on the men's side of it all, this one right here is the one that got me really thinking, man. I understand, like, man, you see Zach Edey against NC State. You see Zach Edey against Tennessee. You see Zach Edey against some of these schools where he's able to dominate, where they're not like their bread and butter is like defense, like UConn is. And Zach Edey didn't have a bad game. No, he didn't. Like, I'm not saying he had a bad game. 37 points, 10 rebounds. He was the only one scoring the basketball. But it's a thing in the NBA where it's like, we hear Mike Greenberg talking about, hey, UConn could play in the league, it could play in the playoffs right now. Even though that's not true. I mean, it's a kind of scary thought to see what happens when they make a Zach Edey team one-dimensional. Obviously, Zach Edey's not going to go into the NBA and be the guy, He's not going to be the guy. I really did think he could be a 2-3, maybe like at worst 4th, best option on the team at his peak. And he still probably can, even with all the tweaks, even with the limited game. Because his game, obviously, we've all known this, man. Regardless of how much he dominates and how much points he scores back to the basket, his game is very one-dimensional. He doesn't have a jump shot, like not even a little one, like not even a little one, bro. He can take free throws. So I'm guessing that like the form is there, the timing, all of that is there. Just doesn't do it. At certain points there in that game where I was like, hey man, if they put Zach Edey low block instead of just putting his back to the basket and stretch him out a little bit closer to that middle of that low block and 3-point line, could have gotten a little bit short push jumpers there, open up the defense, spread it out a little bit, because they were just packing the paint from minute number 1, packing the paint. And Purdue, they kept strong, up until like it was 30-32. With how many minutes left in the first half? 1-2 minutes left in the first half, and UConn takes a 5-point lead into the half. I believe 6-point lead into the half, right? 6-point lead into the half. Come out second half, continue packing the paint. And Purdue is not attempting no 3-point shots. Whole time I'm thinking, hey man, they're doing a great job running them off the line, the 3-point line. Hey man, it's just UConn doing their thing, running them off their line. But it was Purdue just not even looking for the 3. Not even being aggressive for the shot that could have taken them to the promised land. They attempted throughout the whole night. Let's see this. Throughout the whole night, they attempted 7 3-pointers. They were 1 of 7. That is ridiculous, bro. Whoa. They didn't even put them up like that. They were all 2-point shots. At certain points in the game where it's like, I understand why UConn is the best team in college basketball, just suffocating defensively and have so many options offensively where they don't need to go just inside to Clegane. They could go outside, shoot the ball. They could mid-range porch jumper. They could beat you on the fast break off a rebound. They have so many options to go through on a night-to-night basis. It's no question why they've won so many games in March Madness by double digits. The other team on the other side, each team that they've gone up against has not been able to lock in enough offensively. Like everyone thinks it's about they're locking you down defensively. And then, Purdue being so one-dimensional where they're just, for 40 minutes, they just passed it to Zach Edey on the inside. If it was there, if it wasn't there, if they were forcing it, if they weren't forcing it, it was just Zach Edey getting the ball on the inside. That's why Zach Edey has 37. And it was only Braden Smith with 12 points next closest to him. Next closest to Braden Smith was Lance Jones with 5. I don't even know how they even got the amount of, it doesn't even make sense that they reached 60. It doesn't. 4 players scored. Officially 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 players scored a bucket. Regardless of how good UConn is defensively or how good UConn is as a basketball team, that will never win you a game. 5 players scoring a bucket when you have 12 players that are played will never win you a game. Or 12 players on the bench, 14 on the bench, whatever. You'll never win a game when only 5 players have scored a bucket. Never. It just doesn't, never. You credit it to their defense for sure, because they had great defense there, UConn. But I got to point out Purdue they just didn't they didn't want to make any in-game adjustments. They didn't want to go away from Zach Edey, continue to pass it to him, even though they could have opened up the game a little bit more. UConn said, okay, we're not going to double Zach Edey. Everybody, you're going to have to beat us. Man, and I mean, Purdue just said, okay. They fell right into their trap. They didn't do anything. No creativity in the game plan. Little bounce pass to Zach Edey. That's the most creative that gets. And congratulations to the UConn Huskies for winning their 6th title in 25 years. Becoming a dynasty over there in college basketball. Dan Hurley really be Nick Saban still, but yeah, just disappointing from the Purdue side. Don't want to bash Purdue all day, all night. It's whatever. They lost. One-dimensional team. It's cool. One thing I would say, though, is watch out. You know, I'm going to do my NBA mock draft. I'm probably going to do 2 rounds. Maybe a round and a half. Maybe a round and a half, because nobody watches the second round the second round at all. And now they're splitting it into 2 days. Ain't nobody watching the second round day. But I'm only going to do the top half because the Raptors have their pick in the top half. Hey, man, hey, sue me. I ain't doing 60 picks. You crazy? And I'm probably going to end up doing 60 picks. It's crazy. But, got Champions League football today. I mean, we got super matchups tonight. I mean, what a time to actually be alive. What a time to actually be alive. Got Man City versus Real Madrid. Got Bayern Munich versus Arsenal. We only got 8 teams left in the Champions League. It's getting fun, man. I mean, the matchups I just named for today. Bayern's been playing trash, but Arsenal ain't a Champions League team, so it's going to be a fun game to watch. I'm going to probably wrap it up here, guys. I mean, I've talked a little bit. I really wanted to make it an extended episode here tonight, but honestly, you know, with everything, with the eclipse, with Champions League football that I just hyped me up on and I have to go get ready to go watch, I want to leave it here. I want to leave it here and get back tomorrow. Probably going to do the Wednesday, Thursday, Friday thing this week. And then we go into that schedule of Monday, Wednesday, Friday next week. As we just get this Game Time Gazette thing going, I really want to start blowing this up. You know, I'm trying to take this as seriously as I can. You know, the edits with the audio, you know, as cool as I can make it be, the edits with the video, getting a little better, you know, day by day. Un poquito improvements every day. And, you know, I thank you guys for staying with me in this journey. You know, there's a million other sports podcasts you can watch or listen to, but you chose to listen to mine. And I thank you for that. I really appreciate that. It actually does not go. I mean, I see one view. I post this, I see one view and I come, bro, thank you, God. Thank you obviously to listening, but thank you, God. And with that, I say, I'm going to get a catchphrase in here. But for now, again, I'm going to say, Jesus loves you. So love your neighbor as well. You know, let's spread some love in this dark, dark world. Let's make it a little brighter today. You got a hand in that. So help me out. Alrighty. It's been your host, Isaiah Aneni. It's been the Game Time Gazette. I'm going to see you guys tomorrow. Catch you guys on the flip side.